It's the Real Estate Podcast, brought to you by ANZ Home Loans for financial well-beings.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Real Estate Breakfast as we work ourselves into a Tuesday. Monday is behind us, talking all about your property news. And of course, we do that 7 days a week, as heard on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts and Amazon. It is the 22nd of October, a very busy time in the calendar year. And home buyers, it seems, are rushing to purchase properties in Australia's most sought-after suburbs at the moment, with homes selling up to 78% faster than last year. Last week, we talked about this data from PropTrack, which was highlighting capital cities where the median days on market have dropped significantly over the last 12 months. Real estate agents say that buyers are making offers just days after listings go live, and homes are selling in a fraction of the time compared to a year ago. Well, on this list of PropTrack, there are a couple of areas, and we've got a couple of real estate professionals that are going to join us this morning. So let's catch up with Lisa Correia from GLC Residential in Perth, and also Paul O'Riordan from O'Riordan Real Estate in the Blue Mountains. And a very good morning to both of you. Welcome to the Real Estate Breakfast. First off, I think let's come to you, Lisa, because South Lake in Perth, now that saw the largest drop in days on market among all capital city suburbs, with a 78% decline compared to last year, Lisa. So that area definitely going off.
It certainly is, and thank you for having me on the podcast this morning. It's certainly gone off mainly because it's really the last affordable suburb close to the CBD, and the first home buyers, it's top of their list and they're wanting to get into the suburb because of the block sizes, etc.
Yeah, I see that the median price of around $665,000, up 27.3% over the year. South Lake remains popular for first home buyers seeking larger blocks near the CBD and beaches. Those areas, you're seeing this firsthand for yourself.
Absolutely. And it's been a little hidden gem, South Lake, but I think well and truly it's been discovered now, yes, which is fantastic.
So what type of buyers are you seeing buy into, if we look at South Lake in particular?
It's predominantly, as I said, first home buyers, young couples between the 25 to 35 age group wanting to buy, the location and the big blocks. That would be, I'd say, 85% of the market is what we're seeing coming in, which is great.
How long have you been in the area? Born and bred?
I'm definitely a born and bred sunny sandgroper. My late husband started selling in the area in 1995 and I joined him in 2000. So I've personally been selling in the area for now 24 years.
Wow, 24 years. You know, it's been such a talking point on the podcast, Perth, for all the right reasons. You know, it's just been that sleeper for so many years. And, you know, we talk about this moment in the sun. That has definitely been Perth over the last couple of years.
Yes, definitely. And we've got so many people wanting to come into Western Australia and realise all the benefits we have, and especially with the mining industry as well, and our beaches and our weather. So we are very blessed over here.
So, Lisa, what has been the standout feature for selling properties this year for you?
I've noticed at the end of 2023, the buyers were just being so disappointed if they missed out on homes. You know, they were saying, you know, we weren't given the opportunity, etc. So I thought I need to find a different platform to sell the properties, which makes it fairer for the buyers to actually know where their offer sits, etc. And they have the opportunity to amend the offer. So I started selling on the 1st of January, all my properties this year by the open platform, which has made a huge difference. And the buyers have loved it because it gives them full transparency and allows them to, if they've got that opportunity, increase their bid on the property they can. So that's been a huge game changer for me. And I wind the campaigns up within 10 days because the key thing with the buyers have said, Lisa, we want to know by this weekend if we've got the house or not, if we've got to go out and look for another property.
So when you say transparency, it gives them greater transparency. What are they doing differently to the other portals?
Okay, so with this platform, what it means is I can open up the ranking. So I do a normal home open, I do the normal campaign as normal, but when they want to put an offer in, I verify them, they upload ID, I check all their finance, and then it's sort of a bit like eBay. They can amend their bid on the property up until the closing. So it means that if they've got an extra 5 or 10,000 in the bank, they can put it forward. Whereas a lot of the buyers were saying to me, Lisa, fixed date sale, we're going in blind, we don't know. So I always put my from level where I think it will be and put a realistic from level, not too low, because I don't want to disappoint buyers. And then they can, as I said, see their ranking. And if they're ranked number 5, they can move their bid up, if they've got another 5,000 in the bank, and it gives them the best chance to put their best foot forward to get the property.
Well, that's really amazing because this is not a paid for advertising spot at all. So the people that are running that platform going to be loving hearing that. That would have also been a little bit nervous, I would imagine, for you moving all of your stock to a new platform. So it was a bit of a gamble in 24 that sort of paid off for you.
Absolutely. I was a bit nervous, and I must say I'm not Gen Y, so anything new for me is a little bit scary. But when I looked at the benefit of both for the seller and the buyers, and a lot of buyers said to me, Lisa, this is great. I'm at the bottom. I've gone to my top level. I know I'm not going to get this house. I'm going to move on to another property. So I found that buyers were actually, once I explained it to them, they were actually saying, this is actually great, Lisa. It was scary, but I think it's paid off for both, definitely the buyers and the sellers.
Fantastic. All right. So we should go to you, Paul, because you're in another area that has come up on this list. And we've done a couple of podcasts, in fact, this year on the Blue Mountains. Sydney, of course, is ranked among the fastest moving property markets, followed by Perth, Brisbane, with Lawson in the Blue Mountains leading the way. Now, this suburb, Lawson's median days on market dropped 62% year on year to just 22 days. Tell us about that, Paul. It's a hot little suburb.
It's a beautiful little suburb, Craig, and thank you very much for having me on. Good morning. Look, what isn't great about Lawson, we've just had a brand new development. It's been there a couple of years now, but a lot of new shops, restaurants. It's probably the newest shops and restaurants in the Blue Mountains. We're right in the middle, so the weather isn't too cold. As a vendor I once had, he said we're above the smog and below the fog. We're away from the wet falls and higher up colder weather and very villagey atmosphere.
Yeah, and I see that the median house price there in Lawson, $825K, still remains far below Sydney's median price. So they're moving there for a cheaper piece of property. But I think that it's fair to say, with some of the conversations that we've had, once people start looking at property, it might not have been like, oh, we don't really want to go there, but the prices are cheaper. But then once they get there, they start experiencing the area. Do you see that there's a bit of a change in mindset?
Yeah, look, I very much believe that. We are pretty competitively priced compared to Sydney. A lot of buyers, look, I'm selling probably 75 to 80% of our buyers are from the Sydney metro area. So a lot of people looking for that tree change, that lifestyle, slow down, and also that the changeover of perhaps drop a big mortgage in Sydney and come up here in a smaller one or no one at all, which is a very attractive option.
So what sort of buyers in particular are you seeing come into the area, the demography of them?
Look, it's the complete gamut. We have first home buyers looking to get into the market. We have retirees coming up from Sydney for that lifestyle change. And we've also got families and local families looking to put their roots down even further and stay put in the mid-mountains.
See, this prop track is really highlighting, turning a corner really. I mean, the days on market significantly lower. What are you seeing? What's the gut telling you in terms of the numbers and the transaction and what people are doing right now?
Look, I think it's really confidence. There's a lot more confidence in the market than there was with the interest rates, depending on who you listen to. But I kind of believe most buyers are thinking the worst is over and it's probably only going to get better from here. So they're jumping in before the inevitable price rises when interest rates kind of drop off a little. So I think that's a big driver. And then it's really about the lifestyle, the slowness of life. It's still, we're an hour and a half or an hour and 15 minutes from the Sydney CBD, but it feels like it's 3 or 4 hours away.
Yeah, I mean, it's not far, is it? Just over an hour and 15. That ain't too far away. So what is the standout feature for selling properties this year for you? What has it been?
Look, it's really buyer confidence. Look, people just wanting that real lifestyle change. The amount of Sydney we've had interstate as well, just coming in and kind of highlighting the Blue Mountains as a place to be. Further down the mountain, it's a very competitive market. It's kind of feels like an outer suburb of Sydney in some respects. And the top of the mountain is very much kind of tourist orientated. So the middle of the mountain, which is getting a lot of attention, is seen as the best of both worlds.
Now, you would have been listening to Lisa with a lot of interest talking about changing to a new portal. She's there in Perth. What did you make of that?
I think that sounds very, very exciting. It'd be nice to have a third option in the New South Wales property market, that's for sure.
Yeah, and Lisa, that's what it's all about, isn't it? What you've done there is you've kind of opened it up a little bit away from the main players.
I certainly did. As I said, I was just seeing the buyers just getting so disappointed, missing out. Well, if we had a second chance, I just thought I need to do something different to make it fairer for buyers and obviously sellers as well. I work for the seller, so as well to see if people are willing to pay a little bit more for the property. Of course, that's what our job is as well. So I thought it benefited both parties, absolutely.
And Paul confessed before we got going today he's never been to Perth, Lisa.
I know how bad that is. At least I've been to the Blue Mountains. So maybe, Paul, you need to come over and see how amazing it is in Western Australia and what we've got to offer.
There you go, Paul. So you can sit down.
Invitation.
Yeah, you can sit down, have a coffee and talk about the podcast that you did together today.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
All right. Well, thank you both. Thank you, Lisa, for coming on to the podcast. And also, thank you, Paul. Enjoy your Tuesday.
Thank you, Craig.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Thanks so much.
Listen to in-depth discussions with industry leaders on investing options, understanding different suburbs with insider perspectives and exclusive tips.
I see it all the time where agents are doing this wacky form of advertising a client's property. I personally don't think that is such a great look. I think that properties, if they are presented beautifully without the clowning around, they're going to sell anyway.
I totally agree. Look, I think the way that agents now are pushing homes, yes, they're doing stories and reels. The videos that they're capturing are caught in the moment. They are purposefully meant to be lo-fi, but that's because the channel, Instagram itself, lends itself better to more real, authentic content. We've done many tests, video versus static imagery, and static imagery will always generate you more leads and more clicks than video. And the reason is very rarely are we watching a video from start to finish.
We connect you to the best real estate information across Australia. The Real Estate Podcast.